Hello, fans of Let's Talk Chicago Bears. I'm back. Yeah, I only do. I've been only doing shows once a week because of there's not really much to talk about as far as the Bears go, and they've hired some assistants. They've pretty much filled out. I know they hired all the defensive assistants and then a running back coach. I haven't seen a quarterback coach though, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But they're going to replace what they had. But yes, they've been doing those kind of things. But that's pretty much it. Nothing's really going to happen with the Bears probably until the free agent season starts, which is in March. So we've got a few more weeks to go. But there was a big deal made the other day, and we're going to talk about that. Huge deal. I mean, it doesn't finalize in March, but the deal is going to happen. It just free agency opens, trading and free agency opens in March. So officially. So yeah, that's what. Let's talk about that, right? And so I'm going to take off my glasses so I can read my notes a little bit because I have a few notes that I jotted down. But yeah, so the Rams and Detroit did a pretty big deal. I mean, and the Lions definitely got the best of the deal, if you ask me. So the Lions sent Matthew Stafford to the Rams in exchange for 2 first-round picks. It won't be this year their pick, but it'll be 2022 and 2023. So they get 2 first-round picks, and then they get a third-round pick in this year's draft, 2021. And as you know, they sent Jared Goff to Detroit. Clearly, they must not have wanted Goff because a couple years ago, they were in the Super Bowl. He was in the Super Bowl with them. So we're going to talk about that, but I don't know. I've heard that he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, and I don't know if that's just got on what's his name, their coaches, Sean McVay's nerves or what. I don't know, but I don't know. He still seems pretty good to me. Is he, Mahomes? No, but he's pretty darn good. So, you know what? The Lions definitely got the better of the deal, if you ask me, because they got a young quarterback coming. Stafford is 32. But Stafford still has a lot to offer, in my opinion. So let's just talk a little bit about him. So he's going to the Rams, and he's going to have a lot more talent around him because had he had more talent in Detroit all those years, he would have, they should have been in the playoffs more, and he should have gone to more Pro Bowls, and he didn't. He's a better quarterback than most people believe. So he was picked, Matthew Stafford was picked first overall in the draft in 2009, means he was the very first pick of the draft. His total passer rating right now, they average all the years together, and because he's been in the league a long time, and it's 89.9, which is darn good. I mean, it really is. He with Detroit, he only went to the playoffs 3 times, and they were all wild card games, and they lost them all. And this was the one thing I read, and a lot of experts say that he had been ripped off through the years. He only went to 1 Pro Bowl through the years, and then many experts say he should have been picked more, but because of the team he was on that was usually so bad, he didn't get picked. He is a much better quarterback than his record shows because he's been with Detroit. I mean, think about it. The wide receiver, maybe, I don't know, 8 to 10 years ago, Megatron, he was with Detroit. He retired because he was like, you know what? His contract had him stuck in Detroit. They weren't going to trade him. And he knew Detroit wasn't making any real efforts to be a good team, so he retired. And the same with, and I can't think of his name, he's the running back, really good running back. And he retired early too because of the same reason. He saw the writing on the wall. He had a contract that wasn't going to be able to get him traded. And back then, years ago, they didn't trade as much as they do now. They really didn't. So, God, what is his name? You know what? I do a show and I can't think of a name. Not too good. But I know you all know. You're probably all yelling out his name right now. But he retired. Gosh, have to be maybe 15 years ago, and he still had gas in the tank, but he knew it wasn't worth getting beat up. He said so, and Detroit is not going to make any efforts, so I'm retiring. So that's what happened there. So, we'll see though. So, but Detroit gets Jared Goff, and Jared Goff was also the number one overall pick in the draft in 2016 to the Rams. So he was the very first person picked. And Carson Wentz was the second person / quarterback picked in that draft as well. So we're going to talk about that in a second. So Jared is 26. He actually has a little bit better passer rating overall than Matthew does. It's 91.9. Not bad, right? They went to the playoffs 4 times with Jared Goff, and they're 2-2. And in the 2018 season, 2019, they went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, but lost, as we know, to frickin' New England. God, are you not like sick of New England? Yeah, well, they're not going to be good for a while, so we don't have to worry about that. And Goff went to 2 Pro Bowls in 2017 and 2018. So it's curious to me why. And he did not look that bad. He got hurt this year, so he didn't play. He was hurt, and but something had to have been going on for them to trade somebody like that. I mean, to me, he seems like he's still coachable. So what is the issue? And he even played in the playoff game this year, and that they lost, obviously, but he played pretty darn good, and he was hurt, and he still played anyway. So I don't know. Again, Lions, in my opinion, got the best of the deal here because they're getting 2 first-round draft picks and a third for this year, and they got Jared Goff. So let's see what happens. Unfortunately, now Jared Goff's in our division. Yeah. So, you know what? It's tough because you'd like to see him succeed, but I don't want him to succeed at our expense, at the Bears' expense, right? So we'll see what goes on. One thing I found kind of ironic, because now there's rumors going on that Carson Wentz of the Eagles is also being rumored to be traded. I guess a lot of teams are going to the Eagles, and they're listening because they have Jalen Hurts now. And I'm pretty sure Jalen Hurts is probably going to win out that starting job, although the coach got fired this year. So he's no longer there, the one who benched Goff and put in Jalen Hurts. So what a tough problem to have, right? The Bears only wish they had 2 good quarterbacks. Gosh, what do we do? Who do we start? Yeah, we've got frickin' Foles on our roster right now. Oh my God, that's embarrassing. So I don't know, but so the thing about Carson Wentz is he was the number 2 overall pick in the 2016 draft. So Jared Goff went 1, and he went to Rams, and Carson Wentz 2, and he went to the Eagles. So it's kind of funny in a way that they're both, well, one's been traded, and the other one's rumors he will be traded. So it's kind of, it's interesting to me, and why. I just. I guess I get the Eagles one more because they drafted Jalen Hurts, and he's going to be good in this league, it looks like. Although he's a little small for me, but I'm not a big on short quarterbacks, but that's just my opinion. So I don't know. We'll see what happens to Carson Wentz. The perfect fit does seem to be for him in Indy because when he was really good with the Phillies, his offensive quarterback coach was Frank Reich, who is now the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. And what's his name retired? The guy with 1 million kids. So he retired. He isn't going to be the quarterback for Indy this year as he was last year. Um, excuse me. And so I don't know. We'll see where he goes, or if he does get traded at all. I don't know. I guess his contract is pretty heavy, so somebody's got to have cap space to be able to take Carson Wentz. So it'll be real interesting to see what happens there with him. But it's just so interesting that both of them went 1-2, and now, but the teams seem like they want them out of the. I mean, when the Philadelphia won the Super Bowl a few years ago, what, in 17, Carson Wentz had won. A lot of people say, "Oh, it was Nick Foles." That's why everybody's so in love with Nick Foles. Carson Wentz are the one that got them the first 12 games. He won for them. He was the one that got them to that 12th game. He got hurt in that game, and then he was out the rest of the season. And that's when Nick Foles came in for his 15 minutes of fame and lightning in a bottle. Because Foles ain't got it anymore. It was just his moment because he's been around the league for how many years? He's been on, what, 6, 7 teams? So that's not a first string quarterback. But and there was a lot of talent on that Eagles team. So that's why, everyone's, oh, Nick Foles. No, nope, 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 nope. That was just his 15 minutes of fame, people, I'm telling you. So Carson got them, in my opinion, to the Super Bowl. So I don't know. We'll see. It'll be very interesting to see what they do with him. And of course, the other one is Deshaun Watson of the Texans. I do not believe he will be traded. I don't think he should. I think that the Texans ownership and whatnot should really be kissing his ass, making nice to him because he is a talent. There's no doubt about it. You just got to put more talent around him so you can win more. And their last coach, who they had fired during the season, he just wasn't good. He got the job because he went he went to Penn State after that big scandal with that guy, the friend of Joe Paterno's, who was on Joe Paterno's staff, who was going after young men sexually, and all that blew up. So this guy, what's his name, Bradley, he went to Penn State, and he brought the program back up, and that's how he got a job in the NFL. Because that Penn State started winning again, he made them, all rally around and forget about what had happened, and that's why he got a job. But he was not good. He did some dumb trades because he was the GM too, and I've said it before, I don't think coaches should be GMs. Those are the olden days. It shouldn't happen anymore. You got enough on your plate being the coach. Stick to the coach. Get a GM to let him to do the GM things. And that guy was just not good at drafting either, except for Deshaun Watson, which we all know we could have had. So, but we're not gonna go. We're not gonna relive that nightmare, right? But it would be shocking. So we just saw what Detroit got for Matthew Stafford, which is pretty good. 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick, and a young quarterback who's only 26, who has gone to the Super Bowl. So for a 32-year-old Matthew Stafford, which is good, but he's not Tom Brady, right? So what would the Deshaun Watson trade look like? I mean, you would have to give up, I would think, at least 3 to 4 first-round picks. And I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I'll be really shocked. I mean, it could happen, obviously. But if it does, it's going to make big time news. I promise you. And if it does, I am going to throw in a dark horse that nobody's really naming. And I heard somebody talk a couple weeks ago, one guy, and I was like, yeah, totally makes sense. Because the owner's got a lot of cash. They have cash space. And the Carolina Panthers. They hired their coach, Mike Rule, from college. He started last year. It was his first year after they let go of Ron Rivera. And he gave him a long contract, the owner. And he told him, I want you to build this team. Start over and build this team. That's what he told Mike Rule, who was the coach. And I'm thinking, you know what? It could, if it happens, I predict it's Carolina. So you heard it here first, folks. So basically, though, Bears fans, you gotta stop writing on Facebook boards and Reddit and all those things saying we're gonna get them. This is what, and everybody's putting out their opinion on what the Bears should do. Bears are not gonna get them, folks. Wake up. Number one, we don't got the money, we don't have the cap space, and we cannot afford to give away first round draft picks. You know that. We need them. We've got a good defense, but we need to plug in some holes on offense, and we need a freaking quarterback. But it's not going to be Watson because we cannot afford it. So just stop it. It just makes me laugh because I'm like, come on. I saw one on Facebook the other day, and this guy was like, I don't know how many draft picks he had, like for 3 first rounders and a second rounder or something. I'm like, oh my God, no, no. And then somebody on Facebook wanted us to trade for Watts. Okay, there's another huge mistake. No, we don't need Watts. He was great, JJ, in his day. There's no doubt. Because I guess he's not happy now, so there's rumors he might not be back with the Texans. He's got to be in his 30s. And he's been hurt the last few years a lot. He was great in his heyday, but, those kind of guys get beat up a lot, especially players that go 110% like JJ did, and their bodies are beat to shit. So, no, we don't want JJ Watt. We got that frickin' Quinn. Isn't that bad enough? That's our guy who's on Social Security. Quinn, the Bears paid him a shit ton of money, and I don't know why. He came on, in the last 2 games of the season and got us at, oh, okay, when it really doesn't matter. Whatever. So, no, stop writing about that, too. So, there. Okay, so let's do a little Super Bowl talk. We know it's the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the first time in the history of football that the Super Bowl's played at the home team in the Buccaneers. The unfortunate part is they're only going to have, 1,500 fans or stuff, and most of them are going to be family, frontline workers and stuff like that. But it is the first time it's ever been. And, I was thinking about the city of Tampa Bay, so they win, they go, every team, a lot of these teams try to get the Super Bowl. The warm city teams, indoor teams, they're the ones that are going to get the Super Bowl. You know much they are losing right now because there's not many people there. They usually have a bunch of activities, concerts, parties, big press sessions, and people just flock to the state where there's a Super Bowl. Whether they got tickets or not, they go, and they just want to be around the atmosphere. So you got to figure Tampa Bay, the city of Tampa Bay probably is losing millions and millions of dollars that they counted on. It's kind of sad that this pandemic is what it's done to this great country of ours and the people that are suffering. So it's real unfortunate, that they're playing in their home stadium and their fans can't even be there. It kind of sucks. Okay, so we'll talk about Brady. As we all know, Brady has been to 10 Super Bowls. Whippy. Boy, don't you wish we had somebody that the country hated as our quarterback? Yeah. And he has 6 rings, and they were all with New England. Now he changes teams. He goes to Tampa Bay, and now, boom, they're in the Super Bowl. Tampa Bay has only been in the Super Bowl once in their existence, and then that was in 2003, and that was when they had John Gruden as their head coach, and they beat Oakland, where John Gruden had come from. He had gotten fired from Oakland the first time, and he'll probably be fired again, but not yet. But and he was their coach, and so that was interesting. So they've only been there once, so it should be interesting to see how that plays out. We know Mahomes has only been in one Super Bowl, and that was last year, and of course he won it. So now he's in a second one, back to back years. It is very hard to win Super Bowls back to back, but teams have done it. Um, Pittsburgh, I think, did it 4 years in a row. That I don't think has ever happened again. Um, but it is hard to repeat. But in my mind, I think Kansas City's going to win this game, but we'll see. And Kansas City has only been in the Super Bowl twice in their franchise history, 1970 and 2020. So, boy, it should be nice for me next year to be doing this show and talking about the Bears being in the Super Bowl, wouldn't it? Yeah, I know. What are you going to do, though, right? Uh, so, I'm hoping for a good game on Sunday. It's I don't know what the weather's going to like. It's probably going to be good. And the only thing that could disrupt a great game is rain, but who knows about that? I know when the Bears played in Miami in 2006, they were playing in that Super Bowl, which, in my opinion, they didn't really deserve to be there because they had no real offense except for Devin Hester, and because we had that pathetic Benson, who was a joke because his knee hurt and he couldn't run in the game after the first quarter. It's a fucking Super Bowl. Get out there. And Rex Grossman was our quarterback. And the only reason we got to that Super Bowl in 2006 is Lovie Smith and that defense. And, so it's funny because when Hester, we got the kickoff, if you remember, or maybe you're too young, maybe you didn't watch it, and he ran it back for a touchdown. And I looked, and I had a bunch of friends over and stuff, and I looked at them and said, we're going to lose this game. And they're like, don't say that. And I go, just because of that kickoff return, I knew it. And Peyton Manning hadn't won one yet, so the whole country was rooting for Peyton Manning, and it was in a frickin' driving rainstorm. So, although I love weather games, I won't lie, snow games are usually my favorite, but I'll take a rain game too, so especially when they're sliding all over the place and they're getting dirty. I mean, that is football. That's what football used to be, and that is football. So, anyways, so that's it. There's not really a lot more I can say um, about the game. You all know, it's weird because it's not a normal year because usually the teams are both there. Kansas City is just getting there today in Tampa. They didn't even go because there wasn't no press conferences like they do. And you know how they require them to go out, and certain players, they all have to meet with the press so many days. None of that existed this year. So let's really all wish, pray, and hope that the 2021 season is normal again. But the one thing I heard, and I thought it was quite impressive, is that the NFL, at the end of the day, their positivity rate for COVID was 0.08 for the whole season, which is not a high percentage at all. So they really, and you got to remember, football did not quarantine. They let their guys go home. Baseball quarantine their players, basketball quarantine, and hockey quarantine their players. And they still had a lot of testing. That was early on. So football did learn, and you got to give the owners and the coaches a lot of credit, and the players, for pounding it into their head that you gotta behave. Well, Brady sent his family away over a week ago. I don't know if they're in the state of Tampa Bay or they went back to New England because I'm sure they have a home there. But he sent them away 10 days ago. He's like, I don't want distractions and I don't want to catch COVID. So out of the house, the kids and the wife went. But that's a good thing. So, they already saying that the off season, the run through stuff, that's all going to be Zooms, and the NFL's hoping by late May, June, they'll be able to have an actual in-person mini camp before they go on total break until July when they start spring training again. I always call it spring training. I don't know camp, whatever you call it. Spring training is baseball. But so we'll see what happens. But I really hope football gets back to normal next year. And let's hope that the Bears, I know they don't got a lot to work with, so let's just hope that they do some really good drafting. The quarterback I wanted them to draft was Zach Wilson. Not going to happen because he's already moved up the charts. The only one they might have a chance with, because we're number 20, and they said he could fall, is the quarterback out of Alabama. Oh man, what was his name? See, this is what happens when you don't write down all this stuff. Your pickled brain, that you abused for, 40 something years. You can't remember his name, but the guy from, he was in the championship game and they beat Ohio State, that guy. So you can go look him up, okay? But they feel he might drop, and I don't know. Maybe we should go get him if he's available at 20. Why not? Take a chance. You sign him to a rookie contract, so it's not going to kill you. And you see what you got, right? But we do need to get another quarterback that's going to start. And I don't want it to be Nick Foles. You know how I feel about that guy. He's been there and done that, okay? And so we'll see what happens in the draft and in the offseason, free agency. All I can do is this. We can all do this and hope that the Bears shock us and surprise us all. That's all I can say, right? So that's it. Again, don't forget, come March, I'm going to be doing a new show called, and it's an original title, Let's Talk Chicago White Sox. And I hope everybody out there is staying healthy, staying safe. Still tough with this pandemic, and we got to keep together because, there's so many people out there suffering. My city alone, Vegas, is hurting big time. And so get your vaccines if you can. I know it sucks wearing the masks, but it's the only way we're going to get out of this and get fans back in baseball, basketball, hockey, and football stands, okay? So let's hope that we could get this damn frickin' virus under control. Okay, I'm getting off my high horse. Off the high horse. I'm back. All right, you guys. I love you. I may do a show next week on the Super Bowl. Let's see what happens Sunday, okay? But enjoy the Super Bowl. Let's hope for a good game. And that's it, I guess. And you know what? I just want to give a shout out to my subscribers again. I got some really great people watching me. The comments are great. It's usually from the same people. I really do love y'all. I feel very fortunate to have you. I mean, it's 173, but I don't care. That 173 subscribers is like 100 million 73. I'm seriously, I don't care. As long as you're watching me, people are watching me. I'm down, man. I'm like a down. Like bear down, Chicago Bears. Okay, we won't sing on that anymore because it's a shitty song anyways. Okay, you guys. I love you. Keep safe. Stick together. And as always, keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.